Hello. Hey, team. How are we doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, all good. Great
Good,
to
good,
see
good.
you. And I think that was a lovely segue into leadership and the kind of the leadership pipeline. So I'm going to disappear, give you 10 minutes to explain all about Aspiring Heads work, and I'll come back and ask you some questions afterwards.
No probs.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So my name is Nadine Bernard, and this is...
I'm her husband. I'm Ethan Bernard, sorry.
Ethan Bernard, co-founders of Aspiring Heads. And just want to thank this platform. Thank you, Hannah, for this opportunity to just share more about the work that we do. So who are we? Who is Aspiring Heads? So we are a social enterprise dedicated to breaking down racial barriers in education in the UK. Our goal is to increase representation of Black teachers and educators in school leadership, ultimately creating a better learning environment for all children. And I think, you know, in terms of everything that's been shared this morning so far, we already know all the reasons why. But for us, that key thing that really triggered the whole, or propelled the whole start of Aspiring Heads, was when myself and Ethan sat and we realised there was only 1% of Black head teachers in the UK. And we just thought, how could that be? So, you know, there has been ongoing, you know, research, and it's been very, very clear that there is a systemic issue within the system that is blocking, stopping people who look like us from progressing up that pathway to positions that they ultimately deserve to have. And so Aspiring Heads is not only, it's not just any program, which I'll tell you a bit more about, but it's actually a community, it's a family. We are here about supporting and giving people a safe space, a culturally competent environment that can support individuals and help them to see and know and be reminded that they are more than capable and more than worthy to be sitting on those chairs, creating their own chairs in those rooms, whatever that may be, that passion, that desire that they have on their heart, they can achieve that. So in terms of our work, we provide a program. Part of the work that we do is Aspiring Heads, which is a program that stems over a number of months. And, you know, as I mentioned, we do give people a kind of a safe space, but we tie in the competency, you know, national standard, leadership standards, thought leadership. We're very, very fortunate to have a number of well-established leaders coming and supporting also on the program. I know for myself what it means to have someone who looks like me, who can share or understands the experiences that I'm going through. And I know in terms of my journey to headship, although I did accelerate quite quickly, there were a number of things and factors that I experienced that really ultimately took me to a very, very low place. And one thing that I was very, very passionate about is enabling others to have a better toolkit than I had, because I went in there ambitious. Yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this. I'm going to support children and so forth to thrive. And I'm going to be able to do all of that. And then I very quickly realized that my race and who I am is going to be a problem for the sector. And so ultimately, Aspiring Heads has given ones who are coming up behind me a better toolkit than I had, which I shared. So this is just an overview, a brief overview of the program that we offer. As I said, I believe, we strongly believe it's a program like no other. Ultimately, because it's more than just doing a module and that's that. It's about building those really strong relationships and being with each other every single step of the way. So you can see in terms of the activities that individuals go on when they're part of the program. We have a Webby chat, podcasts, reflective workbooks, shared tasks. But then it's not just a program that just finishes and you just say, bye, well done, got a certificate. But it's that ongoing support that happens after. And I've really, from my own personal experience, understood and understand that you need that consistently throughout your career journey. And then also you can see the modules that we cover as well.
Great. So in terms of our impact that we've had so far, I'm extremely proud of what Nadine and I have been able to do. And when we share what we do and who's doing it behind the scenes, a lot of people are shocked to know that it's just Nadine and I. We have a number of supporters around us, don't get me wrong, but since our inception, we've had 8 cohorts, and we're just sharing some stats here. 93% reported an increase in current knowledge and understanding of leadership competencies. 95% reported feeling more equipped with overcoming current and potential barriers. And I just want to just share the one in every 3 participants have achieved promotion to senior leadership team or headship roles. And we're really chuffed about that. You know, this is what we want to see. You know, we're raising children ourselves, and we know that representation is important, and it's one of the many things that does need to change within this system. So I want to big up a number of organizations that have supported us along the journey. You know, it's been a pleasure to sort of work in partnership with a number of these organizations, gain support from our early stages from a number of these organizations, and we're currently doing ongoing work with a number of them as well. So we're really grateful for the support that we've gained to make this Aspiring Heads dream work. With regards to next steps, so what we're currently doing at the moment is we realize that with all the good work that we've done, in order to scale, we need to improve something. So currently we're working on improving our organizational capacity, which is we're improving our systems and processes, we're improving our governance, and there's many things that we're doing in the background to really strengthen our direction going forward. And then our next step is to launch a range of new initiatives. We got so much new ideas, and we have a number of new projects in the pipeline that we're going to be launching next year for Black educators and for educators of the global majority. And we definitely look forward to connecting and partnering with even some of the organizations that were presenting today. And then the next step is to again increase our network and build on more partnerships. We realize that, you know, we can't make these changes on our own, and we're part of a wider ecosystem that we need to come together in order for things to happen. Quick plug, if you want to hear more about Aspiring Heads or want to see us in person, we're having our first in-person summit. We've been running our annual summits for the past 3 years, and this is the first time we're doing it in person. So go to summit.aspiringheads.com and get your tickets, and it'll be great to see as many of you down there as possible. And last but not least, connect with us. Like, we want to connect with as much people as possible, not only to share about the great work that we're doing, but to hear about the great work that you're doing too. And as I mentioned, this is an ecosystem, so we all need to be in this together. So thank you all for listening, and yeah, we're really grateful. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you both for all the brilliant work you are doing. I'm gutted I can't come to the summit. I'm sorry, I've got something in my diary. I will be at one of the future ones again, I promise. Nadine, I remember when I met you, and you were a very young first-time head, and I remember you going like to rock bottom in that first headship role. You're in your second headship now, aren't you?
Third in the
third headship. Yeah. Third headship. Yeah. You go, girl. You go, girl. What's been the difference for you around the kind of the support that's been around you as you've gone to your second and your third headships as a still young Black female head teacher?
Well, I think in terms of the support, there's been elements and basically the same individuals, to be honest, throughout each stage of my headship. And I think the difference is having that continual support throughout each of those stages, whether you have your low points, your high points, and so forth. I've been very, very fortunate to have advocates for me. I know Arifa spoke about sponsorship, and just people who are out there and just saying, Nadine, you can do this. Nadine, I'm standing with you. Nadine, you deserve to be there. And those constant reminders and those individuals, advocates for myself, have really helped me to actually be standing and even to be in a position where I am right now. So I definitely have to give a lot of credit and appreciation for that ongoing support from individuals.
But you're passing it on and you're creating that space for others as well. My question for you, Ethan, is that, like, I know family and community are really strong core values for the two of you. I follow you on Instagram, I follow you on socials, and that's what I'm really hearing here, is it's not just a program, we're creating a community. Tell me a little bit more about how you go about creating that space where people feel really connected and really rooted into Aspiring Heads.
I think it first starts, and I hope I can encourage everyone, it starts with like who you are and what you're able to give. So Nadine and I, we're very giving individuals. So on our program, we as Nadine mentioned, we don't just offer the program, but we give time. We give time. We take time out where possible. We've created a structure between us where we're able to give more time to our alumni, more time to the network. That could just be phone calls, emails, trying to, create other online lessons, online spaces for people to just come and talk. And I think once people realize that those in charge are genuine, they're authentic, and the motive is real, that's when they feel really welcome, and that's when they begin to open up, exhale, and then proceed forward. So it really starts with who you are and what you're able to give, and then ensuring that motive is right, and then from that's right, you're gone clear.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact there's so much interconnectedness between all the different organisations and speakers today, that like Janoy was listing off all the different partnerships he's got with each of those organisations. And then you've seen the legacy of what your alumni are then creating for the system as well. So I did an event on Wednesday and Wayne was name checking you both for the support he's had on his work. I love that. I love hearing the kind of the advocacy and the name checking to everybody. The stats are really impressive. Okay, so you're helping people get into leadership, and we're seeing that progression to headship. Have you set yourself a kind of goal as an organisation about how many heads you want to create and support into the system?
It's funny. We've spoken about this, and obviously being 1%, the day that we see it hit 2%, although that's very low, yeah, that's
it's still more. It's movement.
It's movement, that's going to be like a key milestone. But every single time someone through the program achieves that status, we're like, okay, yeah, great, that's 0.000 something, moving up. But again, it's I want to acknowledge those who are leaving the profession because of issues, and I'm like, come on, this. We need to work. This pushes me to work harder, because we want those. We want the numbers to go up, not go down. But that target, we want to just see that percentage raise. Yeah, and we also want to see the impact that has on the wider school communities. And we're still working on the ways on being able to identify that. So that's what we're pushing on.
And I think that's really good point in terms of wanting to raise that stack and increase, but there is a number which we can see of people from the global majority, although they reach that place, how long can they sustain it? Because it's exhausting. And that's why being able to create to really get organizations, trusts, and leaders who recognize their duty and their role to ensure that people from the global majority are in places where they can actually thrive and excel and feel okay, and not become heavily burdened because of all of the systemic issues that are very alive and kicking ultimately. And I think that in some ways is one of the greatest challenges. And again, why we're heading towards, this whole partnerships. What more can we do to extend our work? What, Ethan said, it's just me and Ethan doing much of the work. So how can we extend even further to ensure and work with others to make that greater impact that's absolutely needed so individuals can thrive?
Yeah, absolutely. That ecosystem of all the different partners doing their bit. And I know we've done lots of work on anti-racism and IGTE and anti-racism and governance, but what about the middle? And going back to the concrete ceiling concept, my understanding is that the glass ceiling for women is above deputy headship, but the concrete ceiling for people of colour is above middle leadership. So helping people to get onto SLT, they're more likely to become deputy heads and head teachers. So there's some data sets there for us to think about putting together as a system as well. But it's always great to see you both. Thank you so much. I hope your summit goes really, really well at the end of October. Please, I'll put the details out when I email everyone. I'm going to now say goodbye to you both. Thanks for joining us.